But we start with the biggest story in all of sports, not just college basketball. It is the big story. Caitlin Clark becoming the NCAA's all-time leading scorer in women's college hoops with that logo 3 during a dominant win over Michigan. Clark would go on to score an Iowa program record 49 points in the win, not just passing Kelsey Plum, but Antoine Davis, Pete Maravich clearly in the sights as Clark looks to become the all-time leading scorer, man or woman, in all of college basketball. You look at the big stat fueled by Gatorade. Here are the numbers. Clark now at 35-69. She's just 75 away from tying Antoine Davis. And you see Pistol Pete there. He is less than 100 away, of course, 4 regular season games and then the tournament. It almost seems at this point that is an eventuality. Clark will become the best scorer in college basketball history. After she did it on Thursday night, she took a moment to talk about the accomplishment and what it all meant with Kylan Mills.
Caitlin, you couldn't script it any better. A logo 3 to break the record, a career-high 49 points, and you are now the NCAA women's basketball all-time scoring leader. What does it mean to you to see your name atop that list of greats?
I mean, I'm just really thankful to be able to do it in our home arena with these fans that have supported me since I stepped on campus, and to have my teammates celebrate me like that. I think it just speaks to the culture Coach Bluder's built here, and, I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for those girls, whether it's, past teammates, present teammates, our coaches who have allowed me to be Caitlin, and I'm just really thankful more than anything. I mean, it's just an unreal feeling, and probably something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life and cherish for the rest of your life. So I'm just really lucky.
You also said how influential it was growing up to watch WNBA players to run on the court as a little girl. What is your message now to all the little boys and girls who are watching you with similar big dreams?
I think just dream. Don't ever let anybody tell you no. I'm still 22 years old, and I still dream that exact same way. There's still so much that I want to accomplish, and I know you're still young, and you want to do all these things. Don't let anybody tell you can, because that's exactly what I live by today still too, and it's done wonders for me. And you got to work really hard. Things aren't always going to go your way, but just keep working, and you can do whatever you put your mind to.
It is time for the big interview, and we welcome in Megan McEwen. Megan, first of all, I am remarkably envious and jealous of where you were last night and the experience you got to have in watching Caitlin Clark break this record. So take me there, take all of our viewers there. What was that moment like when she knocked down that logo 3?
Is there only one way for Caitlin Clark to break the record? Of course, it's on a logo 3. In fact, talking to her at shoot around, I asked her, how do you want to break it if you had a chance to really pick how this goes down? And she says, I mean, a logo 3 obviously would be great, but we have to see how the game goes. And obviously, goal number 1 is to win the game, which Iowa came out firing. Caitlin Clark, particularly, scoring the team's first 8 points. And for her to hit it on a logo shot, when I say the roof came off of Carver Hawkeye Arena, it was incredible to be there. And personally, as someone who's grown up around women's basketball their whole life, this was the most special moment that I've been able to witness. It was emotional. Lisa Bluder called a timeout as soon as there was a dead ball, and the crowd just continued to roar as Caitlin Clark was celebrated for this incredible accomplishment, tackled by her teammates. It was one of the coolest moments to witness. And, as a network, we've been covering Caitlin Clark since she was a freshman. So to see her rise to stardom the way she has on this stage is truly incredible.
And to me, Megan, it's not just the fact that she did it, it's the way that she did it. Yes, it was the logo 3, but it was dominance from the start. And I got the sense, and you can speak to this, from the crowd, that they were just happy it happened so quickly because no one really wanted to wait. Last couple of games, we were wondering how close would she be? Would it happen? There was no doubt because it happened so quickly.
We were thankful it happened so quickly. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Are you kidding me? This is what Caitlin Clark is capable of doing. It's unbelievable, the consistency we've seen ever since she stepped foot on Iowa's campus her freshman year. Going into it also, you want to focus on the game, but there's this huge story. Everybody knows it. And Kim Barnes-Arico from Michigan was fabulous in shoot around, speaking to the impact that Caitlin Clark has had on the game over the course of her career, how she's elevated women's basketball, and also how she's elevated the Big Ten as a whole. Right now, the world is focusing on Caitlin Clark in Iowa, but they also care about Big Ten women's basketball and how things have been able to shake out over the last couple of years. as the Big Ten has truly separated itself as one of the best conferences in women's basketball.
Obviously, with the record, Caitlin is known as a scorer, but those who follow college basketball also know that she is probably the best all-around player that we've ever seen. Double-digit assists again on Thursday night. She's the only player, man or woman, with 3,300 points, more than 1,000 assists, more than 800 rebounds. When you start to think about what she is all around, I think, Megan, the amazing thing is you could say she's the best scorer, one of the best assist players in history, and a really good rebounder, and there's nobody else in the history of this game that can say that.
Caitlin Clark's best attribute of her game is her assist ability and that vision that she possesses, how quickly she plays, how she finds her teammates. It's what's going to carry over and make her so effective at the pro level quickly. She continues just to do everything so consistently. And none of her game is new necessarily. She just continues to fine tune all the pieces that she brought to college. And that's what's been so impressive, is how dominant she's been with the tool set that she came in with. Caitlin Clark is going to go down as the best, one of the best college basketball players, maybe the best ever, when it comes to how many triple doubles she has, her ability to lead the nation in scoring and assist, her rebounding ability at 6 feet tall. She can play so fast because she's getting the rebound and passing it up the floor. It's like magic. So for her to be in this position is truly remarkable. And she has changed college basketball. The way Steph Curry changed the NBA by knocking down 35-footers, Caitlin Clark is doing the same exact thing in women's basketball, and the whole entire world is taking notice.
And now only two names stand above her, both in men's basketball, Antoine Davis, Pete Maravich, both very reachable. Are those goals, you think, something that Caitlin is thinking about as well, or was this the one record that the focus was mainly on, and then after this, it kind of opens things up for her and the Hawkeyes to worry about what they're really worried about, and that's getting back to the Final Four?
I was focused on trying to win the Big Ten, trying to win the Big Ten tournament, and like you said, getting back to the Final Four. Yes, to beat those two names that you named who were tremendous in college basketball. I mean, look, Pistol Pete did that in 3 years, the all-time scoring record before there was a three-point line. It's absolutely wild. Caitlin Clark will likely break Pistol Pete's record in about a month or so in the NCAA tournament likely, which is incredible to think. She said she wasn't too focused on the record headed into until this game because everybody started talking about it and you couldn't really get away with it, or get away from it rather. But look, Iowa wants to win a championship. That's the goal. Caitlin Clark has been able to do everything she could possibly want in her career. She's just missing that national title ring.
Megan, I think we do have to talk about one other team inside the Big Ten. I understand that Iowa and Caitlin are getting all the attention, but Ohio State is quietly, and I don't know how you get to number 2 in the country and do it quietly, but they are quietly ranked as the second best team in the country. They beat Iowa already. They beat Indiana already. They have so many different parts that are wonderful on both ends of the floor. What are we to make of Ohio State and the Buckeyes' national championship chances?
You want to peak headed into February and March when you're a basketball team. Ohio State is doing just that. Cody McMahon is finally hitting her stride in her sophomore year, scoring at a high level. Celeste Taylor, who transferred in from Duke, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, is finally getting comfortable in Kevin McGuff's system. What was impressive to me about Ohio State is they played on the road at Michigan State last week, and they were dominant from beginning to end. 3 of their top scorers got into foul trouble in the first half. It didn't matter. The bench came in, scored at a high level, defended at a high level, turned Michigan State over. It was so impressive to see the way this team has come together, and they're playing some of their best basketball right now. Ranked number 2 in the country, they're a real threat to be a really deep NCAA tournament team and to win the Big Ten outright right now.
All right, Megan, before we let you go, one final question. I know you got a plane to catch. You're a busy woman right now from place to place, game to game. What other teams should we be focused on as we get into the last couple of weeks of the regular season? You and I spoke about Penn State a few weeks ago. Now the Lady Lions have hit a little bit of trouble. Michigan State has lost a couple of games against good time competition. But who else should we be watching as we try to figure out just how many spots the Big Ten will fill in the NCAA tournament bracket?
Keep your eye on Nebraska. Yes, they lost to Rutgers about a week ago, but they knock off number 2 Iowa at home, a huge resume boosting win that they really needed to stand out on the NCAA tournament committee. And then you also have Penn State to continue to look at. I know they've kind of cooled off as of late, but anything can happen over the course of the next 2 weeks. Michigan State is still a team I'm really high on as an NCAA tournament team and as someone who can make some serious noise. When you get to March, they have depth. Nobody's going to want to play against the Spartans. And then Michigan would be that last team to keep an eye on. They already knocked off now number 2 Ohio State. There's going to be a rematch in a couple of weeks. That's going to be interesting. What else can Michigan do in the next 4 to 5 games to continue boosting that NCAA tournament resume?
She may be the hardest working woman in show business. Megan McEwen, we appreciate the time. Safe travels. We'll catch up again sometime soon.
Thanks, Rick. Always good being here.